never been where like, if my butt starts to hurt, up because they're all stable.
You can
So
stand up. You can stand up on. He's all right, pretty good in your
pretty
balance,
much,
pretty well.
except for like the Revo. The Revo is a little tricky. I've done it, but
Yeah, skinny.
it's real skinny. But
Yeah, skinny. I had a Revo too. What about the new what's it called, the Compass? That one, can you stand on that?
yeah, the Compass is pretty similar to the Outback. Very similar. It's the same width. It's 12 foot long. It feels a lot like when you stand up on the older Outback. You know,
What's the difference? Like, why the price point on that?
so the biggest the difference is a there's a lot more. It's a different hull. Even though the hull looks the same, the hull's different on an Outback. It's got more of a different bow. It cuts down a lot on the hull slap that you would get like on a Compass. You got dual steering controls. You've got rails. You've got rectangular hatch. You've got the hatch in the front. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot more than just kind of looking at a picture of it. You know, if you really break it down, a lot of people say, "I want a Compass," and by the time they upgrade all the upgrades like the hatches and the rails, you bought an Outback. You know, so it's the same thing. You know, so
Is that the boat that you sell the most? Is it an Outback? That your biggest seller?
yeah, it's the
That's a
Outback.
sweet kayak, man.
We've probably sold since January 1st. We probably sold about 85 Outbacks
Wow.
in just our Corpus store. So
Oh wow.
yeah, it's been a really big. Now, when the Compass first came out in 2018, that was our number one seller. But since 2019, the Outback has just been bananas. Probably sold over 150 Outbacks last year. So,
The 2019 model is the model that's right now, right? So that's when they had done the upgrades to it. Yeah, because I had a 17 model, and then I sold mine, bought a boat, and then I saw the 2019, and I was just like, damn, that thing is sweet.
Oh, so the Compass isn't that small one then? Which was the $1,800 price point one?
so there's a $1,600 price point. That's the Passport.
That's
the
what
newest
I'm
one.
thinking about.
Yeah.
The Passport is $1,600. It's 12 foot. It's 34 inches wide, but it's one of those thermoforms. So kind of like the Pelicans, how they melt them together.
Gotcha.
They did a lot of things to really be the lowest price pedal drive boat on the market. So it pretty much is for a 12-foot boat with the features. It is the cheapest pedal drive kayak you can get compared to Pelican, compared to anybody. So
And then so that was at 1,200, but the full mold is really, you said it's a difference in how they manufacture it, right? One's
Right.
two pieces, one's one piece.
yeah, so the thermoform is the only boat that Hobie outsourced to help with the hull. Like the hull from the Passport, which is a thermoform where they meld the two together. That's made by Bic, the one that makes the pins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
So Bic makes Hobie's Passport, and that's the only boat that Hobie outsourced to lower the price to offer to be competitive on the pedal drive market.
And like you said, at that point, they're selling the pedal drive, right? That's what kind of
Yeah.
differentiates it against the competitors around there, right? So someone who may be looking, like you said, one of these other boats are like, all right, well, within this price range, whatever, I can get a pedal drive boat and be in that situation.
Exactly.
Does the 360 come standard with the Outback and Pros, or is that an upgraded drive?
So the 360 is only for the 360 Pro Angler. So
Okay.
that pedal, that drive will not fit in any other boat other than that Pro Angler 360 boat. So if I took that drive out of the 360 and tried to put it in another Pro Angler, it doesn't work. It has to fit in that mold. The whole shape of the drive port is completely different. So I don't think at this point, unless they revise like the size of the drive, I don't think it would work in any other platform because, man, when you put that thing sideways and you pedal, man, it jolts that boat like. And if your boat it's got to be pretty hefty like a Pro Angler to be able to take that torque on it,
Torque on.
Like the PA12, if you're not really ready for it and you start pedaling, man, it makes you want to dump off the boat, because it just, you're not used to that going sideways when you're looking forward. It's just weird,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
got a lot of torque.
you said the numbers, where you sold over 40, 80 some boats. So you guys, are you feeling any type of I guess, hit now that the Shearwater is out, that the drive is another boat. I really thought that Hobie was going to take a hit with that.
I've had a lot of people say, I'm just going to wait for the Shearwater. But how many people do you know have a Shearwater?
Right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, no one, they haven't had it yet.
So when I went to ICAST last year in June, I went to go just to see the Shearwater because I was thinking about getting into Vibe.
Okay.
And so they had the prototype, and I was like checking. I said, "Well, where's the drive?" It's like, "Oh, well, it's still in production." I was like, "Well, where's it go?" Well, it goes in that hole. I was like, "How does it go in the hole?" Like I was asking because I couldn't figure it out. Well, sir, we're almost done with it. And again, I'm not knocking Vibe.
Yeah, no.
Great. I think, but what I'm saying is that it was supposed to come out, I think, in October. Then it was supposed to come out in January. Then it was supposed to come out in March. Bro, we're May.
Yeah.
Where's the Shearwater at?
It's coronavirus. Coronavirus, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, so, am I worried about? I think the Vibe looks cool, man. I think that boat looks really, really cool. Like, I think it would be a great boat. When I saw the prototype, I liked the hull. But I just want to see it, and I want to see. It's kind of like the Pelican, the 130 catch. I mean, everybody like, I'm gonna go buy it, and they bought it. And like, dude, they returned it like in 3 days to Academy because the drive just didn't hold up to our conditions. Maybe in the freshwater in the Canadian lakes or whatever, maybe it's good. But this is hardcore, bro. This is Laguna Madre, bro.
It's salty, dude.
Different.
It's salty, bro. So
salty water, salty anglers. Yep.
Exactly. So I'm excited to see the boat. I'm not afraid, but at the same time, I think the competition's good. Who knows? Maybe we bring Vibe to the Valley, in which I've already been in talks with him. But I want to see the boat first. It's like the Bonafide when it came out. When the Bonafide came out, the Bonafide, the SS 127 stuff. Like I really like that. Like I wanted the Bonafide, the non-pedal drive, badass looking boat. I love Yak Attack. I like their products. I like the things that Luther does. Man, Luther's really smart, man. He's a really genius guy, and everything he does with craftsmanship. So I really wanted that boat, but I wanted to try it first, Yeah. And I talked to him about bringing in Bonafide, but I just can't. For me, I got to be able to sell that boat to my customer and know that it's something that's going to be safe and good for what it is that we do here, and it didn't work out. They decided to sell their products in other stores here, and I couldn't bring them on because they wouldn't let me use one first to try it.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
So right now,
Fin Factory Fishing.
Fin Factory
Fishing. Yeah. And so we're working on it. I'm working on that, but
it's work. It's work, right?
There's some people that are really good at video editing, and to me, man, it takes a while.
You need to find someone and like put them on a pro staff or like a support class or like that to do your editing in exchange for goods. I mean, like that's one of the reasons we do this on YouTube, right? Because I personally have made a few videos, and it's the editing part. Like, yeah, you can create, hours and hours you can shoot hours and hours of video, but how do you put that in like a 10-15 minute video that's engaging, right? And sometimes you want to go over here, and jump like whatever, and all that stuff takes time, a lot of time. And like our thing is like, all right, like we're just gonna go live on YouTube, and we're just gonna publish it, and there's going to be no editing, and like our whole relevance is going to be on this kind of this on demand or like on as we go kind of thing. Because you're right, because I know a lot, and we talked about this the other day when we talked with Joaquin, was that a lot of people buy these GoPros and like, man, I'm going to make all these cool videos and like whatever, and like they take them out and they have thousands of hours of footage if they even take them out, right? And that's the first thing. Like,
it's funny how Sam says this people. He's got a Fusion. I don't think he's ever turned it on.
Yeah, I've turned it on. Like I showed that one video that one time. Remember that one picture? Yeah. I took a picture.
So, he's like this people.
Well, you, bro. I know. I'm talking about myself. That's why I have a lot of passion around it, because I know, like, I fall into that.
Where's my GoPro? Where's my GoPro?
Okay, I'm gonna say we. All right, if that makes you feel better.
That's better.
We take a lot of.
Me, man.
we
I got
take
two
a lot.
GoPros going at all times. I got a GoPro on my head and I got a GoPro mounted to the boat, and then I come home and I'm like, ah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're exactly right, dude. I mean, and that's it. I mean, there's so many topics to really shoot, because some people get just like, man, I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, I know Thresher and Texas Redfish Hunter, you know, those are the two guys. I wasn't big YouTube. Like, I was like, whatever, you know, it's just YouTube. But I didn't know, man, like the monetization of YouTube and all these different things. And these guys, when I started talking to them and spending time with them, I was just blown away. And then I'll have people call me, say, hey, man, I watched your YouTube video about the time where you installed Boondocks on that Compass. Man, that was like 2 years ago. Yeah, well, I just saw it like last week. And how did you do this? I'm like, man, it blew my mind. And this guy was like from North Carolina. And I'm like, that's so weird. You know, like people love YouTube, man.
We talked about this too when we first started doing our shows. Now this is like I'd rather be fishing, and so we're doing things a little bit different now. This is being pushed out on Facebook and at YouTube at the same time. But on our other show that like it's more of a podcast type show, we push that out on YouTube Live, and kind of the message, the feedback we got is, hi, why aren't you doing this on Facebook Live? Because it was purely YouTube. And the idea around it was like, you know, Facebook is good today, good tomorrow, and then after that, it's gone, right? Whereas YouTube is a repository. It's like a library, right, of content, right? Yeah. And like, it doesn't matter if it's, like you said, 2 years ago, this one guy saw a video. Had you put that on Facebook, like, it would have been gone. Like, no one's going to come back and look at it, right? And basically, when you put it on YouTube, it becomes a repository or a collection of content, and people can come back, refer to it, or find it, discover it, and then kind of digest all your other content. So for us, that's kind of the big difference in kind of how we choose what goes on Facebook, what goes on YouTube, is we really look at the relevancy on there. And because right now we spend a lot of time talking about the COVID-19, and that's really where this idea came around, of kind of doing this happy hour around this I'd rather be fishing stuff. Is just like, there's a lot of people at home. Let's give them an avenue that they know that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. they can tune in and talk about fishing, or ask some questions, ask some comments, or whatever, and drink a few beers with us or whatever, hang out, have a good time, right? But it's not necessarily like, it'll be cool to look at it back in like 5 or 6 years, and not to say that the topics that, you know, are going to change very much, but it's more of like, man, I remember when like we couldn't go out, we couldn't leave our houses, like whatever, like this is going on. Like, we're gonna be telling our grandchildren like, hey, like we couldn't go out, we couldn't leave our houses, and we got proof on YouTube.
I'm gonna tell them. I remember when we broke the internet. That's what I'm gonna tell them.
Yeah, we broke it today,
internet, guys.
We broke the internet. So I'm
hey,
actually.
Mike, what's your favorite boat, man?
My kayak or boat?
Kayak.
Man, I have to say the Outback right now. I mean, right now the Outback has been really, really just been kind of a good all-around boat, you know. I still like the old Outback too, though. Like the 17, 18 models. I mean, that's a classic, and I'd rather be on that old Outback offshore than the new Outback, just because of that bubbled nose, you know, going over the surf and stuff like that. But you know, a good inshore boat, man, it's hard to beat that Outback.
So I'm actually, I've been thinking about this more and more, as I'm really kind of leaning toward buying a kayak here. And so kind of my use case is, you know, like in the summertime, I want to go offshore. I'm not gonna pedal offshore because I'm too lazy to do that. But I'll put it on my boat and tow it out there, and like, you know, let somebody get off it, or me, right, get off it and fish, and something that can take, you know, 3-foot waves, but something that like in the summertime I want to take it in the bay and do something like that. Like, what would be, is the Outback kind of in that?
Yeah, I would do. Again? What do you fish? How do you normally fish now? Like, what do you?
So when I'm going offshore, I'm fishing.
He doesn't.
I don't. I just pound beers. That's why I don't kayak. But
I was gonna say, you have a lot of cup holders.
Yeah.
Not a cup holders.
How many cup holders do you have? That's the first question I ask. Cup holders.
That's a good one, baby.
But before you answer that, what kind of beer do you drink? That's the question.
Man,
answer the.
It varies. Today I'm drinking Montgomery's Finest. You guys can't see it. It's
you're
yeah.
a craft beer guy.
No,
Yes, he
today.
is.
No, like yesterday, I was drinking. Or last time I was drinking Modelo, and it varies. Like that's one thing I like about this show is that like it gives me a reason to go out and buy beer when I go buy milk and eggs, and I buy like on Monday show I'm gonna drink this beer, on the Wednesday show I'm gonna drink this beer,
Nope.
and then sometimes on Friday I don't have any beer left and I have to improvise and drink some whiskey or a scotch or
So
whatever, right?
he's
So
got
that
no
means
more
that-
beer, so he's got to go get milk.
So that means that the cup holders each be
No,
a
no, no,
variety
no,
of sizes.
no. What I'll do is I'll dump all the milk out so that I need to go, so that I have to go back to the store and buy it. So, but I mean,
Well,
you
see,
do what you
I'm
gotta do.
See, right now I'm drinking the Paps. You know,
Did you
Dude,
buy
I'm
that?
cheap today, bro?
Did you
Like,
buy that in
today,
a hundred pack? I saw
Pretty
someone.
much, no. But yesterday I was drinking Blue Moon. Like, I like Blue Moon, and then I'll go to Shiner Bock. But for some reason, man, I've been really digging this Blue Ribbon. It's cheap.
Is it? And I wasn't joking. Like I saw somebody post a case that like they have like a hundred pack, 100 pack, yeah. And
Holy shit.
yeah, Victor's drinking that. but so you think the Outback would be? I mean, so I'm looking at something that like on a day if I'm going to do some serious fishing, yeah, I don't mind pedaling and going out there. But I really want a boat that, or like a kayak that I can throw like on my boat, and like if we do a lot of snapper fishing. We fish for kingfish in the summertime, and then we're running it 15, 16 miles offshore, and then just something, and especially like if you hook up on an amberjack, right? Like something that you can tow around, but still something that or you can have an amberjack pull you around, but still something that you can still take in the bay.
You know what I would do is if you're thinking about mothershipping being in it, I would definitely do a Compass or an inflatable. Believe it or not, the Compass is 62 pounds, whereas the Outback's 88 pounds. And believe it or not, when you're out there and you say you've got swells and you're trying to get it off a boat, that extra 20 pounds is an ass whooping.
Yeah.
So to be at a 62-pound boat, I would much rather try to offload and then load onto a boat that's on the water. The inflatable for me, like I do a Hell's Bay poling skiff, 18-foot, very, very slim fly fishing boat. I put compasses on it, but I like the inflatables because they're 37 pounds. Still put the pedals in them. They're 40 inches wide, but it's not for everybody like an inflatable. You think like, oh man, that's like one of those penguins or flamingos. Nah, these are like hardcore Zodiac Hobie. They look like a boat board, but they're really, really hardcore. But I like that aspect of it. They got the pedals and a nice seat and everything. But if I were gonna do like inshore, offshore, I would definitely do a Compass for sure because of the weight.
And that's a 67-pound. What is something like? What is a compass rigged out? Rigged out. What does that run at?
So it's $20.99 for like the non-camo version. Camo's like their premium. But so if you got a Compass at $20.99, comes ready to go. You got your seat, your pedals, your paddle. It doesn't come with